Now, as I said, this area where we've got the slider actually needs to go across the entire page at the top of the trending topics. So we're going to do that now. So we're going to go back to our front TPL.php, and we're going to look for our navigation section, because this is a little bit confusing in I guess Zen, is that the page navigation actually comes after the content, and yet when it's displayed on the page it comes above the content. So let's just make that a lot easier for us. Again, we want to find the beginning div, the end div. There's an if statement, so we need to find the end if below it. I'm going to copy all of that. I'm going to cut that out, and I'm going to drop it in here in the main div. Okay, again we can save it, and if we go back to the front page and we refresh, there's no practical change to this at all, but it is going to make it a little bit easier for us to find the code. It's going to make a little bit more sense. Okay, and back to our code. We're looking for the highlighted region. So again, here is the highlighted region. Okay, this is what prints it out. Now, as you notice, there's also no class for highlighted. There's no separate div around it. So I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to take it up. I want that to print out under the navigation, so this is the end of the navigation section, and I'm going to drop it in there. I'm also going to give this a div of highlighted around the whole thing. Okay, now saving that and going back to our front page, you notice there's a little bit of a clash here. We're gonna sort that out because we haven't got any spacing in here yet. So we've got our major featured articles right across the page. Then we have kind of our welcome to YouTube, no front page content has been created yet, and news. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this message. This is essentially the title of the page, and you'll notice it here at the top, welcome to YouTube. So going back to my front page, I'm going to be looking for the title. Okay, page title. Now there's a prefix, there's a suffix, and there's an endif. So all of this section in here I'm actually going to take out. Okay, so I'm going to save it. Going back to our front page and refresh it. You notice our title was gone from here. It's still on the page, it's just not printing it out as it is here. Now this little bit here to get rid of is a little more difficult in that we have to write a little bit of code, and this will be the only thing that we put in our template.php file. So the template.php file essentially allows us to use PHP to override our theme. So I'm going to write a function. So that's the name of the theme, underscore preprocess, page. Okay. And we're going to unset the message because that's actually printed out in our message area. So what I'm going to do is basically getting the variable at these at this position in the array. Okay. Now you notice it's kind of looking a little bit strange. Now if you used NetBeans before, you'll notice that it's actually picking this up like it's HTML, not as if it's PHP. And the reason is because we haven't actually saved it yet. I think when we save it, it will actually pick it up as PHP. In our template PHP file, we have an opening set of tags at the top, and this is the Zen default. It goes through a lot. But you'll notice we don't have the closing tags at the bottom of this. That's because it's the standard for Drupal PHP pages to not have a closing tags. It will actually add them itself. So if we want to save that, okay, I must have different editing on this. Usually it highlights green for me. Okay, now going back to our front page, we want to refresh that, and you'll notice it's gone. We've unset those messages for it, and we're starting to look a little bit more like our layout here. The last thing I'm going to do very quickly is add in this Google AdSense bar. Now the easiest way to do this is having my NetBeans open. Close some of those other ones down. As I'm going to go into the HTML file that I was given, and I'm going to grab all of the images, everything that's in here. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to paste that into my images here. Okay, so now I know all the images are in here. In the CSS file, fresh, I'm going to open up my style folder here. I'm going to take out the main, which is where he stored all of his CSS. Damn it, is everything new on? I've only just started to use Dreamweaver, having it for quite a long time. I don't particularly like it, so I'm going to get rid of it for the moment. So I'll just drop that into my NetBeans to open it up. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy everything out of there. Now the divs and the IDs and classes are all going to be different in this form. I'm going to copy that. I'm just going to paste it into the fresh folder. But some of them will be the same. Now I know the header container. If we look back at our HTML front page TPL, our header, the ID is header. Now we could change it to be header container, or we could just change it to be, or we could just change this fresh to be header, which is what we will do. Background images, you should be able to pick that up. You notice the height there is 115 pixels width. Is fine. I'm just going to save that. We'll come back to editing that in the next video. Our front page TPL, again I want to open up our HTML file. Let me drop that into NetBeans, and I'm looking for the AdSense. So here it is here, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that across to our front page. And I'm going to drop it in to the header section after the logo. Paste that in there. Now, for this to actually link from here, I'm actually going to, I'll have to change the path just a little bit. Sites or themes. So sites, all, themes, YouTube, TV, YouTube, images, AdSense banner. Save that. Go to the front page and refresh it. And here we have the banner. Now you notice it's doing something funky here because we've got slightly different heights and things set up for this at the moment. It's changed the links to more be recognizable with the styling and colors from ours because we've picked up a lot of the styles. It's not correct yet, so we're going to go through and we'll start editing that in the next video, and we will style our slideshow and start lining things up and giving it all the correct CSS. But as far as the layout goes, that's pretty much all there is to this one. It's a very simple front page. We just created, we didn't have to create any regions, we just repositioned them a little bit. Anyway, I'll talk to you again soon in part 5.